Hi everyone, I'm ThePrussianPrince, and in this video I'll show you how to make an efficient Nymph tank template using medium and heavy tanks in Hearts of Iron 4 with the Man the Guns expansion DLC. Now let's begin by saying that basically these are the technologies that I'll assume that you guys will have. The realistic game, this is the infantry tab, support companies, armor, and so on and so forth. Basically these are the ones that we have. Now here are the variants that we will be using as well, along with the designers that we've decked them with. So we have Okmo for the heavy stuff, and basically Astro for the medium stuff. Doesn't really matter what you use on the medium SPA here. I mean, Okmo is alright, but you could use something else also. Doesn't really matter what you use on SPA that much, but on heavy SPA I would definitely use Okmo. Anyway, let's start looking at the actual templates. So, Nymph tanks. What is an Nymph tank? An Nymph tank template includes both infantry and tanks in it. Why is that good? Well, it really is just because infantry is cheaper than motorized, doesn't use fuel, so it's more efficient when you don't need speed, and you're looking at attritional warfare, or also a war that takes a very long time, which really is not uncommon in vanilla Hearts of Iron 4. Wars can take long, especially in multiplayer, just because soft attack values are pretty low for the most part. So another reason why if tanks are powerful is because mass mob, which basically is this doctrine right here, that actually increases the effectiveness of your infantry battalions, which is why you want to use infantry battalions with your tanks with this doctrine, because motorized does not get really boosted with this doctrine, so to speak. So that is why you do it. Now this makes infantry tanks an even more interesting proposition, and mass mob also increases reinforce rate, among other nice things. There's also a really nice tactic there. You have the guerrilla tactics, is very good, and this doctrine essentially makes it a lot less likely for you to lose provinces as well, because of the reinforce rate and that guerrilla tactics. Essentially, this first template here that we'll be looking at right now is potentially, well, not potentially, the most cost-efficient tank template you can build realistically. Whereas the second one I'll show you a little bit later is something more suited for the late game, and isn't really as efficient, but it's more focused on pure power, which you will need in the late game as you start running out of supply, because you just have so many troops later in the game. Now, in this first template, we have 10 infantry, 11 medium tanks, and 2 medium SPAA. Just to be sure that I show you the variants, here are the variants: 5 gun to reliability on the medium tank, and 5 AA and to reliability on this. For heavy tanks, we have this. Heavy SPA is here, but not really used right now. So there you have it. Those are the variants. Now, we are also using engineers, logistics, and maintenance in this template. SPA is of course good, just because we don't expect air superiority with this template, and 2 SPA will be more than enough to negate the template. As you can see, we have 112 air attack, and I believe the magic number is 80. Get rid of the debuff on speed. Now, this template will give us a good amount of actual soft attack and hard attack, along with breakthrough, because of the tanks, basically. Now, the infantry, what does it provide in this template? Well, it provides the recovery rate, the org, and defense mainly. Support engineers here, they are awesome. I mean, as you know, probably the best support company to use in the entire game. We're also using logistics and maintenance here. Logistics and maintenance, actually, they're both really good for efficiency purposes. I mean, you don't want to run out of supply. Maintenance is also good because it allows you to not lose that much equipment. and it does allow you to actually capture enemy equipment, which would be good if you say capture enemy tanks, right? So that is pretty good. Now, this is all nice and cheap, but how about we look at something that's a little bit more on the expensive side? Actually, a lot more expensive. So let's take a look at the second Nymph tank template. As you can see, in terms of ratio, we have the same thing here. I mean, we have 10 infantry, we have 11 heavies, and 2 heavy SPA. Essentially, we switch the medium tanks with heavies, and we switch the medium SPA with heavy SPA here. Now, what's the difference? Well, these are 1943 heavy tanks, as I previously mentioned, which give us a lot more attacks, a lot more stats, and basically everything, but especially heart attacks. You can see that difference right there. It's actually more than double than the first template, which, by the way, is massive. Now, again, this is the template more useful in the late game, whereas the other template is really more suited for the mid game. Because just take a look at the cost here. Estimated production cost between 13 to 14.5k. This one is 7.6k to 8.4k. Sorry about that. So you can essentially get 2 of Nymph Tank 1 for the price of 1 Nymph Tank 2. This is why I prefer Nymph Tank 1 in the mid game. But if you think you'll survive, like, you can just go for this one. And like, you can just survive with regular infantry or some other template that you can use until you get this. But yeah, I mean, of course, this template is better, and it's also more supply efficient for its stats, but more expensive, so it requires a lot more stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Follow me on social media. I'll see you all next time.